Alright, so here is another Treasured Tales of Childhood. Obviously, I've been doing a lot of them recently, but just wanted to kind of knock them out. I thought it's a nice change of pace to do stories that aren't so common. So, Volume 3, Treasured Tales of Childhood, Stories About People. So, they're given to us by a family friend, and it's published in 1974. These stories were put together by Barbara Simons and Ruth Rooney, published by the Southwestern Company, Nashville, Tennessee. So we read Jack and the Beanstalk, which was the first story. Now we're going to read Rumpelstiltskin, which is the second story. Rumpelstiltskin. Let's see here. Oh, we got Rumpelstiltskin. He looks actually pretty cute, Rumpelstiltskin does. Some versions of it, he looks kind of creepy, but I think he looks kind of cute. Rumpelstiltskin, illustrated by Elizabeth Webb, Rand McNally and Company, Chicago. So, I like the little pointed toe. And there's our little Rumpelstiltskin. He just looks like a sweetheart. Alright, let's see here. Boop. Once there was a poor miller who had a beautiful daughter of whom he was very proud. One day he foolishly told the king his daughter could spin gold out of straw. Goodness. The king loved gold above everything else, and he commanded that the maiden be brought to the castle. He's like, "Give me some gold." Oh, yeah. When she arrived, she was led to a large room half full of straw. She was placed before a spinning wheel. The king said to her, "If all this straw is not spun into gold by morning, you shall die." Oh, that's great. He went out and locked the door behind him with a huge key. She just looks like such a young thing. Poor little girl. The poor girl sat down in a corner of the room and began to cry. She knew that she could not spin straw into gold. Suddenly the door opened just a crack, and a strange little man squeezed into the room. "Good day, miller's daughter," he said. "What are you crying about?" "Ah, me," she sobbed. "I must die on the morrow, for I know not how to spin this heap of straw into gold." "What will you give me if I spin it for you?" said the little man. "This necklace I am wearing," replied the maiden. Okay, so she says, "Here, I have this necklace. You can have it." I love the blue for her gown. It's so pretty. It's kind of funny that they have almost matching shirts. The little man agreed and sitting down at the wheel, spun it around merrily. By morning, the straw was gone, and in its place was the gold. Then he twisted the necklace twice around his waist and left as silently as he had come in. When the king came next morning, he was pleased to see the gold, but he wanted more. He led the girl to a larger room, 2/3 full of straw, and ordered her to spin it all into gold before sunrise. Yeah, your king's a bit greedy. I would definitely agree. She's like, "Oh my goodness." And again the maiden began to cry, and again the little man slipped through the crack of the door and said, "What will you give me, miller's daughter, to spin your straw into gold?" "This ring on my finger," she replied. Oh, and she's still crying. So the droll little man set the wheel whirring again, twice as fast as before, and by daylight the straw was all spun into gold. Then he put on the ring and was gone. Whoosh. The king came at dawn and was delighted to see the store of gold, yet his greedy heart was not satisfied. He took the miller's daughter into a vast chamber packed to the ceiling with straw. "Spin all of this straw into gold this night," he said, "and tomorrow you shall be my queen." I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't really want to marry this guy. I mean, I guess if he's king, that's great, compared to life of the miller, but yikes. As soon as the maid was alone, the queer little man appeared again and said to her, "Now, what shall I have this time for my labor?" "I have nothing more to give you," sighed the maiden. Yeah, I mean, she's been locked in a storage room for 3 days. So she just has what she entered that room with. Probably doesn't want her shoes or her, parts of her outfit. Alright. "Then promise me your first child after you become queen," said the little man. The maiden knew no other way out of her trouble and promised to do what was asked. That night the wheel whirred thrice, so 3 times, as fast as before, and when the sun shone into the chamber, all the straw was gold. Ooh, fancy. The king was delighted to find all the straw spun into gold, and as he had promised, that very day he made the miller's daughter his queen. Oh, everybody looks pretty happy for a miller's daughter to be queen. But, all right, that's fine. That's great. At the birth of her first child, the queen was overjoyed. She had quite forgotten the queer little man until the day he slipped into her chamber and said, "Where is the child you promised me for spinning the king's straw into gold?" Now, in this case, queer, I believe, is to say odd or strange. But it's like he just looks so cute. Looks like he should be making cookies, not stealing children. The queen wept bitterly and begged him not to take her baby. At last, his odd little heart softened, and he said, "I will give you 3 days to guess my name. If you can do it, you may keep the child." Then he slipped out of the room as quickly as he had come in. Whoosh. He really likes her jewelry. Look, he's got her necklace and her ring still. After all this time. What a cute little baby. Yeah, she does a really great job. Well, who's got a big castle? Is she in the annex or something? Alright. The next day, when the little man came, the queen gave him the names of all the kings and princes she could think of. But to all of them he gleefully answered, "Oh, no, no, my royal dame. That's not my name. That's not my name." Look at he's dancing. He's like, hoo, hoo, hoo. The next day the queen sent messengers throughout the kingdom to collect all the curious names of poor folk. And when the little man skipped in, she began with cow ribs, bandy legs, spindle shanks, snub nose, and so on. But to all of them the little man shouted, "That's not my name." He just thinks that's a real hoot, doesn't he? The third day, the last of the messengers came back and said, "Forgive me, sorrowful queen. I could find no new name but one. Yesterday, as I was passing through a strange wood, there where foxes and hares say good night to each other. Oh, look at them, they're saying, good night. I saw a small hut, and in the doorway a funny little man sang this song. Today I bake, tomorrow I brew, today for one, tomorrow for two. For how should she learn, my poor royal dame, that Rumpelstiltskin is my name?" When the queen heard this, she knew the singer must have been her little gold spinner. Well, he just singing himself a song. I wonder if he knew that he was there. Let's see. It's a nice little hut. He's like, I'm so happy I'm not going to be alone. You know, there's better ways to get companions than stealing people's babies, Rumpelstiltskin. At sunset, the little man came skipping in and said, "Tell me my name if you can." "Is it Hans?" she teased. "No." "Well then, can it be Rumpelstiltskin?" "The fairies have told you! The fairies have told you!" shrieked the little man in a rage, and he stamped his right foot so deep down through the floor he could not pull it out. Becoming more angry still, he laid hold of his left foot with both hands and jerked so hard that he split himself in two. For he was really made of gingerbread, as are all Rumpelstiltskins. Oh, no wonder he's so cute. He's a gingerbread person. Alright, I guess that was the end. She saved her baby, and then there was some gingerbread on the floor. The end. Marriages did used to be much more economic based than today. But that was Rumpelstiltskin. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for listening, and you have a great day.